Up next in our next day, of course, for the Legends stage of the FACEIT Major, we are live from London, and I want to know what Astralis can do versus the Sharks. It's Vega Squadron. They're a name that only have become synonymous with curveballs at the Major. They are the dark horse that just keeps on running, and they are running away here in London. They've got themselves their first win, and now they go up against potentially their toughest task yet. Astralis, seen as the best in the world coming into this one, and hot prospects to at least get to that grand final. A regimented squad. They are the heir of professionalism in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, going up against a team that have played, and I had the stats in front of me, let me get it right. They have played 10 offline maps in 6 months. It's Vega Squadron going up against Astralis, who are closing in on 80.
With this roster, the only maps offline they've actually played are during this major cycle.
There's an even better stat. That's Chad Sponge Birchall with his debut. He's back on the desk. We're
Hello.
going to be talking to you about this one. And, of course, we have Bjorn Threat Purse hanging out as well. This does feel like one of those David Goliath mismatches that we sit here and we giggle and we outline where Vega's, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think this is going to be that conversation. I've just seen Jason tweet he's got Vega. You just said to me I might have to go Vega. Where is this conversation coming from? I'll let you start this one off.
Well, I just want to find reasons why I can say Vega, but it's really hard to find any reasons. I mean, if you look at Astralis, if you look at Astralis' winning rates on different maps the past 3 months, it's just ridiculous.
The stats don't line up, but where is this coming from, Chad? Why are we talking about the Shark like they've got a shot?
There's a few teams out there who are able to take Astralis on and actually force them to play a brand of Counter-Strike, which isn't the beautiful, well-regimented one that we all praise them for. And Vega Squadron are a scrimmy style of team. They can do a similar thing to what Na'Vi do, which is keep you honest with your economy, keep the pressure on you constantly. And they have the individuals in JR and Chopper who are firing throughout this cycle who are able to go toe-to-toe with the best in the world, the likes of Device, the likes of Dupree. So there is the opportunity there, those scrimmy plays, those things that are just, I guess, curveballs being thrown not in an expected manner is where it might, catch Astralis up. The problem is, for Astralis, they love playing against a team, who likes to play the structured CS. You can see how they slam the likes of Complexity earlier in the tournament. They've had a couple of blowout victories to here, whereas Vega do have an opportunity to force them to play an uglier game of CS.
And yes, Astralis are here in the winners category, but they are going up against a team that have managed to beat the likes of North and Cloud9 on their road here. Big as well, fallen to Vega Squadron. These are regimented sides, at least that in Big. North, of course, we were praising for their team play over in Stockholm when they picked up the win, and Vega's dispatched of both of them. I'm just saying they've done it before.
The problem with that is that Astralis is just going to be more ready for them. There's more data, they know they can beat good teams, and they're going to do their homework. There's no way these curveballs going to work against Astralis.
Especially in a best-of-1 environment where you almost can kind of predict which 2 to 3 maps you're going to be playing. You know what you're banning at least, and you can certainly have a hazard a guess of what Astralis will be taking away.
Yeah, and I think the thing with the map is unfortunately we're getting well ahead of ourselves here, but just going to be the same old. I'm getting fed up of saying it, but there's 3 maps which will most likely come into this one. Inferno, Mirage, if Astralis want to go into the Lion's Den, and then probably a Dust 2 if they also want to, keep it loose. But that's why it's most likely going to be Inferno again. So I don't want to spoil everyone's fun.
Yeah, I mean, we were saving that one until we talked about Astralis, which is what we want to do now. We'll bring up the Danes because their road to this point is interesting. This is a team that have had to come through the Legends stage, the Challenger stage to the Legends stage. They were not given that invite due to shortcomings at the prior major, and now with their first win are safe. We'll be seeing them at the next major challenging at least. Their road has been bumpy. A overtime loss versus NIP on Mirage. They recently were sweating bullets versus Na'Vi in their opening gambit here at the Legends stage. This hasn't been tip-top peak Astralis yet. At least that's my read of the situation.
The most surprising thing about the NIP Astralis game was that it actually went to Mirage, a kind of an off map for Astralis, and still they managed to get it into triple overtime, I think.
Sure. Okay, so that's your excuse for the NIP loss.
Let's build that up a little bit more. The fact of the matter is, if you're not a normal Counter-Strike fan, these guys are the best team in the world right now. They are the #1 squad, and yesterday their game against Na'Vi was against the #2 team in the world, and you could see the economic pressure that was applied to them.
It was insane.
Now, I touched on this yesterday, and I think it's more so with these guys than any other team. The grandstanding and the pageantry coming out with the interviews, with the comments in post-game, little murmurs going around. There is no way that these guys had to play Mirage against NIP last week during the Challenger stage. You know why they did it? They did it so they didn't have to show anything on any of the other maps. If you can still get through a stage by playing one of your middle to weaker maps, and you really, it's no skin off your nose if you come in 3-1 or if you come in after the 3-2. It doesn't really matter.
Do you know what we've seen from Astralis so far, Chad?
Inferno, Mirage.
Inferno, Mirage, and one half of a Dust 2 versus
Alex,
Spirit.
What maps are these guys usually fantastic on?
I'm so glad you asked. Train, Overpass, and Nuke.
Yes, so the maps where it's hugely regimented and strategical that they haven't even had to bust out yet in the best of one. So think about this. They're just sitting there on all those goodies, all those tasty morsels, waiting until we get to the best of 3 stage to just shellac everybody around the server.
You really think that that's the 4D chess they're playing?
100%.
And I mean, it is ridiculous. Just imagine Astralis in a best of 3. They have a 100% win rate on Nuke. So let's say your perma veto is cash. It's like, okay.
It's not 1-0 down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, their win rates are outstanding. And of course, one integral component of the Astralis machine is Device, this AWPing presence who I really have been thoroughly impressed by. What's interesting as well is that he doesn't necessarily always thrive versus these underdog teams. Admittedly, North Americans do seem to get eaten for breakfast by Device, but when it comes to the likes of Vega Squadron, it's not where he does his best work, but he'll be doing exactly what is necessary. JR, however, has really kind of besotted the analyst desk and the casters as well with his performance and with his kind of breaking the meta style of AWPing.
And especially considering he's the IGL of Vega Squadron as well. And not that they have a very deep tactical style, but they still have some good mid-round calls. So it's really impressive to see that. And you saw that yesterday versus Cloud9. He just played the ticket booth position to perfection.
Now, we would get excited about the vetoes, but Chad's already kind of broken our souls and
sorry,
said it's going to be Inferno or Mirage again.
It probably, I don't think Astralis will let it go to Mirage. It wouldn't make any sense. There's no need to allow them to have a map which is, I think it will, well, Vega removed Dust 2. I thought it could have ended up being between a Dust 2. It's going to be between an Inferno and an Overpass, I believe, and Vega will probably get rid of Overpass, opting to play on the Inferns Brah.
So they ban Train,
but
Mirage,
I can give you some
Cash.
exciting things about the potential for Inferno. Maybe we'll see Vega Squadron do the Mach 10-5 Rush B again.
That was interesting, and I think this will be a lot of fun because I get to hear Threat's opinion on it, who's missed a gun round himself. Threat, did you catch that? So Vega Squadron were pulling out this full utility Mach 10 fast B take that I'm sure you either love or hate.
But it was after they won the pistol.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense. Maybe they had a read that they usually like to play 4 people early on A or something. It's not the weirdest idea ever, but it can totally backfire with just one Molotov.
It worked fantastically to get into the bomb site. They just played their after plant terribly, and that's a common theme with teams like this, right? Vega can do really good at getting himself into rounds with the scrimmy play, but you really have to hold on tight when we get into those dicey moments. Just to touch on the point of JR again, he's so influential that in every game they've won thus far, every game other than the complexity game in throughout the major cycle, he's at over 1 rating, right? Yeah. And that's the same as Chopper. So we need to look at those two. They need to show up, right? At this point, the win condition is those 2 individuals showing up and playing well. So there's no way around that. They need to make sure that they're here again. And this is the biggest game for them going up against Astralis. Whereas, let's say Device doesn't have a good game. Well, Glaive is going to, Dupree's going to, someone else is going to. So I'm not so scared for the Astralis. I'm very scared if the 2 stars don't show up for Vega Squadron.
And they have to play the Vega style, right?
Yes.
They have to be aggressive banana. Even though they lose maybe the first round, going aggressive, they have to keep applying that pressure. We see a lot of weaker teams. If they lose 1 round going aggressive banana, they will just stop, play passive for the rest of the half.
Right, so don't fall into that trap, and of course take this with, a pinch of salt. Don't give Astralis too much respect. Don't be like, it's Astralis, and start changing that style of play. Stick to what works for you to this point where you are 1-0 up in the Legends stage of the Counter-Strike Major.
Yeah, there's another little factor. We talked about this with North and their Inferno and how predictable their CT rotations can be.
Predictable.
Astralis have a similar style in the sense of they like to do 3-man over towards to get top banana control, and then they have, either guys idle side of middle. If Vega can find that gap and find that pacing early, they can stay on top of that. That's where these mind games that we talk about with not gamble stacking, but cheating players over to take map control early on the CT side can really be taken advantage of.
Yeah, and let's run with that predictable tone, and we'll bring up our casters as well. It's going to be Jason, Moses O'Toole, and Anders Bloom, or B-Loom, whatever you want to call him.
Anders B-Loom.
Anders B-Loom. He is unbelievable sometimes.
Thanks, Duncan.
What are we saying, gentlemen? What are we saying? Because, Jason, I've been on social media and Little Birdie told me...
Alex, have you ever seen a shark in space? It's a scary thing.
It is?
It is a very scary thing.
Yeah, like as in like lasers and stuff?
Swimming among the stars, ready to pounce at any moment. I'm going Vega. I'm obviously going Vega.
He's going all in. The chips are in the table.
Why do they get to make dumb predictions without any backing? And
what do you mean backing? Did you not see the ranking?
He just said
do you want me to give you
Space
some
Sharks. That was his justification as why they're going to be the best team in the world.
I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun, Chad.
Yeah, let him have fun.
God damn it, Jason.
he's got like the coming 45 minutes to explain his working.
Okay, all right.
We have to finish our work now.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Astralis.
Astralis for you.
Astralis.
Okay, to Astralis, and I too will be thinking Astralis can weather the storm, but I would not be surprised to see Jason looking all smug in about 45 minutes.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm excited.
Anders, you're the last one. We've got all Astralis aside from Mr. Jason.
Abandon them.
No, I'm going to let you have it. Listen, if you get this one right, I think you deserve to have it alone. So
okay, that's fair.
It's going to be Astralis for me too.
Okay, so we have got a lot of favor towards Astralis, but I think Jason is a good representation of how
mental illness?
No, everyone here in London is still kind of like, yeah, but it's Vega.
Hey,
yeah.
Chad, what's the plural of platypus? Do you know?
Platypi.
Is it?
I think it's just platypus.
It probably is, but it sounded right.
Yeah. Well, that's something for us to work out. We're going to go get our heads in the books. You guys are going to get your, I was going to say mouths on the mic. I really didn't like the sound of that.
That's kind of weird.
Can we do that? Okay,
you
go
kinky,
get your mouths on the mic.
Yeah. Little half dab in there right at the end. The exclamation point at the end of a beautiful sentence.
I feel very awkward right now. I don't know what to say.
That was a bit uncomfortable.
I don't know. This is a best of one game, and it is on Inferno. So even if Astralis are, objectively the better team, I don't want to. I can't just rule Vega out of this. Like
that hasn't always mattered, has it?
No, it really hasn't. Like this is kind of what the format gives you. And I don't know, Crush and Chopper and JR have just been really fun to watch.
Upcomers, one would say. And go to upcomer.com. You can even get that Upcomer app as well from the two respective stores, depending on your phone. And obviously you get to follow along with the Major and chime in on who you think is going to win.
Wow.
13% club.
We're dropping in numbers as the day goes on.
No, this is good. This is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit of justification for part of the reason why I think Vega can actually pull this off. We know Astralis on this map has like kind of reinvented. It's kind of a tired subject that's been waxed lyrical for some time. Is they've reinvented the way you can use utility on this map to control different choke points, and they have some very, very good set nades that you can chime in. Vega Squadron, being the aggressive nature and the aggressive team they are, if they can continue to punish that, if Chopper is going to have some nice openings and they can continue grinding that away, they won't have to worry about that, and that's a huge strength of Astralis' defense. If they can take some of those HE grenades, maybe have them missing a Molotov or two, then all of a sudden Vega can really open up this map and they can really do some work.
Well, let's just sit back and enjoy and watch this game. Astralis going to be starting on the CT side, Vega on the T side. It's a best of one game, and we'll see how it all plays out here. Mega's going to be taking a oh my god, look at this. They're pushing 3 people down while 1 is covering. This is so aggressive. Astralis really don't want to let Vega get up and running. They want to try and see if they can take all of the momentum away from them early on here. And it's weirdly split the Vega squad. It's impossible to know how this is going to work out. The first kill is going to make a big difference, and Glaive will take down JR. Device for the follow-up, taking down Haji. A bit of a return from Crush in dropping Dupree and Tony Black. Can he surprise them? He's got a big chance for it here. Oh my god, the follow-up is there. And he's looking for that last headshot. Glaive feeling very uncomfortable, right? Oh no! The fadeaway shot! Beautiful play from Tony Black.
He was not even sure he wanted to commit to that fight. Look at Chopper. They're moving up mid, and Chopper's going to clear out this B bomb site. They've got to be careful, though. They're being so patient and waiting until they see Zipnix. I think they're going to spot him now. Yeah, the call is on to go towards the A bomb site. Tony Black. That's why that mid pressure is so dangerous. If it lasts too long, you can get wrapped upon from so many different places. Tony Black coming out of Boiler. Zipnix, I think, is going to attempt to go for this. The no armor is going to be a struggle. If he can find a quick headshot, though, that would be glorious. Jumping around the smoke, trying to find some information, and he's already done. 7 HP left. Crush has done the job, and Tony Black gonna get his 4th kill.
That is, like, when that round unfolds, you just have no idea who's gonna win it, right? Because sure, Vega are kind of weirdly split, but Astralis are also trapped in the middle, and it's just all out of control. These kills are great, not easy to do, and especially this fadeaway just saves. That's 3 bullets left. And then 1 at the end for the kill. So really, really well done. Vega, got to pick up the pistol.
Got to pick up the MAC-10s as well, Anders. We love this out of them. We'll see what it comes. There are 3 smokes to work with. CZs, some investment. Actually, a heavier investment than we're used to seeing from Astralis. 2 HE grenades over towards Banana. There's
setting
the
up.
nades, and they don't do anything.
No, it's a good enough idea, but
You can see where they're placed, though, right? There's usually going to be, especially in the gun rounds, there's going to be somebody there dodging the Molotovs, ready to put it out with the smoke, and those nades can do some work.
a little bit of a spot there. Smoke comes out from Glaive.
This is all perfect for Vegas so far. Maybe aside from the fact that all 5 players are in Banana, but they've forced out one of those smokes early because we know Astralis likes to delay, really, really likes to stall time. The fact that they've been able to pressure and force one of those smokes out is very, very nice. There's one more at this B bomb site. It's on Zipnix. Not putting it down yet. He's completely blind. He's going to fall away. That smoke might be useless. Mac-10's entering into the site, but Zipnix has the first kill. There's already one in, though. That's so weird. They know exactly where Zipnix is, and only a matter of time before he goes down.
How did that happen? How did they get in? I just don't know. Glaive will go down. Crush watching for the boost. Smart play from him. And that is going to be a round for Vega.
I guess maybe he climbed the boxes and jumped over Zipnix and just didn't clear beneath him.
That almost... I feel like that must be the explanation, but... So, really cool anyway. And sort of, a good enough attempt for Astralis to hold on to it, but the utility use was very good for Vega in that round.
Yeah.
And not leaving much of an opportunity for the guy playing on the coffin. So they're going to save the armor and the upgraded pistols for the next round, Astralis. All good right now for Vega. And didn't seem scared at all in that round, right? Like, once they committed to it, they followed through, and I really want to see that out of them as well.
That's the point. I mean, Threat brought it up on the desk, was Vega needs to play like Vega. They can't all of a sudden get to this point and be intimidated by Astralis. Yeah. And from what we saw on the Challenger stage, they're not going to be intimidated by anyone.
Yeah,
this is the style they've been brought out with. So, I mean, that's a very good point to make. I'm not too worried that we're going to see Vega get passive, because it doesn't seem like they really know how to be afraid. They're like that child who hasn't yet learned to be afraid of things.
Haven't burned their fingers on the stove or anything like that. Yeah, it's super important. I mean, I really think, and it's something that can happen. And I mean, we've seen it happen to a bunch of even high-level teams where suddenly they do sort of get that fear put into them, and they question and they slow down just enough. Vega don't seem to have run into that kind of trouble yet. 4 men stacked at the B bomb site, including a crossfire boost. Still, with this weaponry, they should be in a good position. Chopper patiently waiting. And now they're going to go for it. Just rushing right in. Crush getting shot in the back. Meg is picking up a kill. A bit of danger here as Sip also takes down Chopper. Now they're out in the open fighting, and a little bit of a stabilization here for Vega. They've got a good chance to bring it all the way back, and Hudgy going to be taking down Sip. A 3-on-3 that they should be able to manage just fine. Hudgy, oh, he's going to fall to Magus. That's a bit of a mess up. Missed opportunity and a good refrag there. Now Device in a 1-on-1 versus Tony Black, and if nothing else, this is an incredibly expensive round for the Vega team. Some of the Mac-10s, sure, but don't want to give this much away. And Device, he hasn't got the armor, but the lack of health on Tony Black means this could be a disastrous end to the round. He wants that bomb plant, and how is he going to get it?
If Tony Black takes too long and stalls this out, oh, what a bold play to get that bomb planted. I was going to say, if he waits too long, he might just be ruined. Device should be able to know exactly where he is. Tony Black has no intel.
Just waiting back here. He's got the double. He saved him in the pistol. Might be able to do it again. Bit of noise being made. Setting up for the flashbang. Device going to duck underneath it. That actually was a really, really good pre-aim coming out from Tony, but still need a bit more. Device running out of time very swiftly now. He's going to have to make a move, and Tony Black is playing this as much best as he can, and he's going to get the triple as well, saving them right at the edge. Good job.
He's having a very good start to this game. Bailed him out in the pistol round. Bails him out here with a nice, I guess, 1 versus 2, but you have to be a little bit careful, Vega. The other side of the coin of Vega playing like Vega with that, unyielding aggression is the fact that you're going to take some challenges you shouldn't. That one right there, Hutchie, no need to challenge that close to the smoke. You have control of the bomb site. Swinging in just a little bit around that edge kind of obscures his own vision. Very costly round for Vega. 3-0, and now it's against the weaponry.
We'll see how it plays out. There could be a big boost of confidence to Astralis. Just saying that almost worked, and we had really nothing to play with. So now it's going to be smooth sailing. But on the other hand, if Vega can win this round, I don't think that last round is going to really play all that much into the remainder of this. I think Vega are just going to say, yeah, so what? I
think one of the scary things is Vega just marched right up Banana into a stack at that bomb site from Astralis. So, I mean, early on, Astralis having a good read on where they're going to go. Vega's got to be cautious about that one moving forward. You don't want to get predictable against this team. Device with the AWP on Rap side. Magisk and Dupree at the bomb site. Magisk and Pit. And again, just towards the B bomb site we go. They know they don't have the Molotovs. They know they don't have all the smokes. They'd like to stall this out, and this can be a pretty hard hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Sip in a good position here, just trying not to be exposed. Chopper walking right around the corner. There's going to be a grenade in front of him. 50 seconds, and that's a little bit of damage, tickling him with the UMP. Down to 65.
That is a perfectly timed smoke for Astralis. Actually, Vega's in some trouble. They used some smokes over towards that A bomb site to cause a fake, and it looked like they had Astralis a little bit fooled. Now they have to go right back into it. Another fake being thrown towards this B bomb site. How many commit? Crush and Chopper going in. They need a kill. They need an entry to make this work. Device is on the rotation. They need something. They're not looking. Xyp9x has got it. He should have the information. It's not coming here, but Device was pulled just barely out of position. Double Pit is going to be tough, though.
Oh, what a headshot from Hutchie, though. You're right. That double pit position was great. Now Dupree's alone. And coming in from the other side. That bomb is down, though. Good adjustment. 10 seconds left here. Can they get that bomb down in time? Tony Black just picking it up now. He's going to have enough time for the plant, actually. And Chopper, he has been a monster on this team. He's got 0 kills right now, but if he can hold this side of it, it's definitely possible. They need to both stay alive, and Tony Black not going to hold up his end of the bargain now. It's all on Chopper, and it's going to be very hard. They don't have a smoke to block him off with, but 2 of them can hold, while 1 of them is going to be defusing the bomb. They do have a kit as well, so Glaive going to be on that defuse, and Sip holding it. It's a good round for Astralis and a good read. I think a lot of teams could have over-rotated even further to that B-bomb site. But Astralis held on to it.
They needed just that 1 kill at the B-bomb site to shift things. And Dupree, that double pit, he was quiet the whole time. Almost able to make things work. And this round just kind of got peeled apart. That is Astralis with a very well-timed smoke. Vega got stopped cold of that B hit they wanted to do, and they turned it into a fake. First a fake towards A, then a fake towards B, and just doesn't do enough. Especially when you have double pit. It doesn't always even matter if Device gets peeled away and put in towards library, because double pit is just so strong. You can get your kills from that position.
Bit of danger, a lot of fire. Sharks aren't a big fan of that.
No, I wouldn't imagine they would be. Jaws struggled with it. Look at this purchase, though. This goes back to that 3rd round, that 1v1 between Device and Tony Black. So much damage dealt by Astralis in that round.
Pretty deep grenades ringing down to the bottom of Banana, but not connecting with anyone besides JR. They had all pretty much evacuated by the time they rang in. Oh, Glaive into the corner. There is a Molotov on Chopper. I mean, if they hard check it with that, it could be trouble.
Oh, JR is going to go for the dry challenge. You just can't be trying to pull that one off against Device. He's one of the offers that will punish you. Glaive's even going to be able to get away, and Vega now getting slaughtered. This is that really tough round to swallow if you're a T-side. It's 5 players surviving for Astralis this early on. Now it escalates. Now it gets even more difficult.
Yeah, 3 in the last round, 5 in this round, and they can't buy into this one, so it could be a lot of people surviving for Astralis yet again. The Danes kind of back in action early on with, with just a couple of good rounds put together here where they have the right call, they win the right early fights. It makes a big difference, right? Let's see. All Glocks except for Crush. Not the most encouraging sign.
Oh,
Grenade going to go a little bit far. Magisk, he knows they're all around there. Does get a couple, and actually Sip will follow it up with a triple. 1 with the Molotov, and that should clear it all out. So 3 surviving, then 5, then 4. That's a pretty good bank that they're building right now on Astralis' side.
Yeah, it's a really, really solid one. That's intimidating. Vega, they're going to have to do a better job. Now you have to start thinking, where's Device going to be with this AWP? If you find him, you have to, you can't challenge him just dry the way that JR did in that previous round. That's not going to work. You need flashbangs, you need smokes, you need to force him away off the angles. Sometimes the hardest part of this. See what Vega's got. They put a lot of emphasis on this B bomb site in these first 6 rounds. Nades raining down mid. JR is going to jump across and dodge most of the damage. This is the position that Astralis has been double nading as well, into that cubby. Nothing going there quite yet. A new look defense as well towards that A bomb site.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure, I would say, on Glaive. I mean, he might call someone in when he started to sort of use the rest of the grenades here.
Yeah, but he's far back, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I think the only reason they're able to do this is because he has a smoke and a Molotov. The smoke he can put down, they can come through that. But the Molotov, if they want to go through it, they're going to be fine with the amount of damage that they'll take and the amount of spraying that they can do. There's the jump across. That's a really shallow smoke.
So far back. I mean, they could even, you could see JR sort of thinking about climbing past it. There is a bit of backup coming in now. Sip and JR on the high ground. Can he get the advantage? Oh, they stand right on top of each other. He's going to get one of them, but that could have been an even better opening. It still just might be good enough. And Glaive down low. Astralis might even have to just save.
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
Magisk and Dupree aren't even leaving the bomb site. This is typical of Danish Counter-Strike, and it allows them to preserve this huge economy they've built up. No reason to waste it. Even though you have a lot of money, there's no reason to throw these guns away. The bomb site is lost. It's a very difficult site to retake, and they've done it so quickly and so efficiently. That's all due to a mistake from Glaive, by the way.
Yeah.
He got way too scared. That smoke is way too shallow. They're able to see around it, and he's not even aware of kind of how dangerous of a situation. They're lucky they don't get doubled up.
And I wonder as well, because the first guy that Glaive saw, I think, was the guy jumping off of sandbags. And
Yes.
so I think maybe that's what made Glaive sort of think, oh no, they're actually rushing me or something. Like he panicked just a little bit. So slight mistake, and it did cost them quite a lot. So good on Vega.
The good thing is they stem the bleeding with this save. You know, if they lose all 5 players in that round, then it goes from a mistake to a disaster. You just give up a round here, but you preserve a lot of the money you have. So, I mean, look at the rebuys. Even after the repurchase of the nades in this round for those 4 players, everyone's still sitting, you know, pretty much above 5K at the very least. Or 3 players, you know, even above 6K.
Yeah. So round number 8 now coming in. Vega happy to just clear up that round. Just getting 1 kill always feels pretty good when you can just do that.
Yeah.
And don't have to struggle all the way through, which is usually how it happens against Astralis. Sip pushed up very close to the air. Meg is taking all of the attention away. Device also getting a kill, and then the follow-up Molotov there. Pudgy going to be out of it. Deep grenade from Sip, and wow, that's a big fight to be winning. Over on the other side, top mid. I think Tony Black wants to get something back in his favor, but that's not going to happen. Wow.
There's that utility usage from Astralis. This is the danger of allowing this much money to build up on the CT side, especially with this team. That was even like, we didn't even really see a whole lot of gunfights. That was just players maybe getting dinked and just burning and eating too much damage from grenades. They mentioned that on the desk as well, the triple push banana to establish control from Astralis. It's a dangerous thing, and once again, on the other side of the map, Device is given just a free kill, essentially. A dry peek, nothing in his face.
Wow, Moses. And now they are rich.
What's rich in Danish?
I don't want to say. I shouldn't.
Okay.
All of Danish just sounds weird.
Well, let's go for it. Put the spin on it. Put the little, yeah.
You can't do the same thing, but in Danish you would say ri.
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 The ri.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, you really can't do that, can you?
Almost. Almost. Ri. Yeah. Obviously, you know, English stole that word from Danish, as you can tell.
Zipnik's hyper-aggressive. A gap underneath that smoke as well. An element of danger. That's going to be a really good nade. Oh, that's going to be a good find. Even spamming through afterwards, and Crush brought down low. Even the follow-up on the chopper. Zipnik's all alone. He's got to be careful. And I don't think he expected them to swing in front of that smoke in that fashion. But they've got a couple players on the hustle. Device and Glaive now over at this B bomb site. Timing of Glaive's nade could be so deadly.
Oh, he's going to put it into the skybox. Right back down. I think now you're starting to get that feeling like, come on. Just... Come on. Throw the smoke over the wall. We're not even seeing anybody. And 3 of our teammates are already a little bit softened up.
They're running into a massive stack. This is like a huge stop sign. Dry peek. Oh, the dink on a Device. They might force him back, but right through the coffins. Beautiful. There's even a boost in the back left at New Box, and they're going to get caught off guard by that one, surely. Zipnik's able to handle it, and they're going to be so surprised the number of players at this bomb site. It's that sinking feeling you get.
Yeah, you've already committed. You're all in at this point. Flames in front. Crush has to use that smoke, and now JR, the only one that could maybe save them, and it's just not going to happen. Crush with 19 health. He could maybe get a couple of more kills, soften up the economy just a bit for Astralis, but ultimately, and he's actually got his back turned to the whole team. This is just very odd. Once that smoke goes away, he is definitely going to be in trouble. Goes down to Device. That kill for the coffin is just so dirty, isn't it?
Yep.
That's another round, 5-4, but that isn't the big problem. It's the money. It's way out of control. And Vega, This is going to be a tough first half.
It really is. I think they're in an okay position, though. 9 rounds in, they've already got 4. You can get 1 or 2, and you're going to feel pretty, comfortable, all things considered. I think the real scary thing for this first half, if Vega wants to have any kind of a climb once they get the rifles back in their hands, is Astralis knows they're going B. They haven't had success at A yet. Pretty much every single attack at some level has been a timing hit towards that B bomb site, has been a slow creep towards the B bomb site. So if you're Astralis, I mean, the fact they're able to cheat Device over and have a stack, I mean, that's a heavy commit of 3 players. There's a lot of manpower dedicated to the B bomb site. I think Vega, the tough part is, if you're Vega, the obvious counter to that is take banana control with like 2 people and have, do some kind of a small presence to maybe pull that rotation over and try and find a timing on the A bomb site, but you can't even take banana cleanly with 4 people.
No, they're really struggling in that sense. Astralis proving kind of a difficult team to bully on the map at the moment, and it obviously helps when they have all this money to work with. But you're not wrong. I mean, 4 to 5 is still pretty good stuff here. It's just the economy that worries me in terms of Vega. We'll see if they can have some sort of surprise or shocking upset in this round. They are getting, again, flash, but they've taken very little damage from all the grenades so far. So I guess that's good news overall. Boost over by CT spawn, I think, and then Glaive. Okay, you do that. That's fine. Glaive does this a lot, where he's actually sort of, I think we call it, crab walking, when you're sort of
crouching and spraying.
But he does it a lot. Oh, Chopper, can you get this shot? No. Somehow Glaive aware of it and is going to get a couple of more. I don't know how that's a headshot. That's a ridiculous way to get a quad kill. First one, but then, I mean, the follow-up, he probably should have gone down there. He's going to be happy about that. 6 to 4.
Here comes the investment from Vega. I think it almost feels like they're afraid to go against Device. That might be why they're going towards this B bomb site. They just don't want to deal with him at A. Could be a reason. They're going to have to at some point. Can't keep banging your head against a brick wall. Dupree is 15,000. Glaive and Device at 12,000. They might not have to worry about saving for the rest of this half. It's going to be such a grind if Vega want to get up towards 5.
Man, eventually we also need Chopper to be put into play, right? He's 0, 1, and 7 right now, so...
Ooh, is he really?
And now grenades.
Yeah, Chopper has been such a monster for this team throughout everything.
Yep. It's really...
Especially on the entries.
So, everyone can have a bad day, but you don't want it to be against the game like this. Best of 1 against Astralis. Device, who said they didn't want to challenge him. Him and Dupree combining for a complete shutdown of that wrap around the arch. And now Chopper on 8 health. And that's a headshot. I don't know how. 7 to 4, and they're really kicking into high gear now. The money Moses.
It's out of control. Yeah, and I mean, here's the win conditions for Astralis the win conditions for Vega, I guess, just failing more than anything is Chopper with 0 kills in this half. You can see maybe why they're labored. That's the entry player, and in all fairness, they are the players that are usually most affected by the utility usage early on in rounds. And then he's been over at the B bomb site and obviously just covered in flames and nades and smokes and flashes, having a really tough time getting anything done. Still, 1 good round, and Vega at 5 is doable. It's doable, but the problem is everyone's looking on point. Glaive has been great. A couple of really good shots from Dupree and Magisk we've seen. Device with the AWP is having no problems whatsoever.
And obviously, it gets progressively more and more difficult to try and sort of keep that bold style of play up where you just keep challenging and you show no fear. When you can feel Astralis starting to sort of get a hold of the game a bit more. And
the rounds that Astralis wins are they just feel so powerful because there's so, like 3 rounds in a row, no one has died for Astralis. Before that, there were 2 rounds of 4 players living. So it's actually impressive that Vega have 4 rounds with the amount of kills that they're putting on the board.
Yeah, it's a good point, isn't it? I mean, one of the rounds, it only took 1 kill, so I guess that helps. But still, you're right. You might also start to get a feeling suddenly like, are we even making any impact at all? Like, at least if it finishes in a 1 versus 1, you could kind of say, all right, well, that was close enough that it might as well have been ours.
Plant. Anything to give you hope.
Yeah. Oh, Flick missed, and he's just going to Molotov it and fall back. Does not want to get run down. Megas applying a bit of pressure on the other side, and Chopper walks right into the shot. Megas just continuing. He's feeling great about all of this, and why not?
Tony Black. Backing away.
Yeah. Did he fail to navigate his way out, or did he intentionally go back?
I think he just said, you know what? Nothing good's going to happen coming through that smoke. On the other hand, nothing good's going to happen falling back towards Boiler, so full losing bonus will be in the favor of Vega after this, and they're going to have whatever they want, whatever your heart could desire. So I imagine that timeout they took just last round would be for this. 3 players at 16K, and Magisk isn't far off.
They just have, such a. I think this might be the richest team we've seen yet, Moses.
I was going to say, have we ever seen a game where there were all 5 people at 16K? That'd be cool.
All the money in the world. 8-4 is the scoreline here, favoring the Astralis team in the first half, and I don't know, Vega, they really need to figure this out. That banana push that they've been working on, it does get grenaded heavily, and Astralis putting 3 men at the top here, ready to take the fight if they try and rush their way through. Chopper has been needing entry kills, which is what he's been so good at throughout the tournament. Right now, it's been difficult. Flashed in, and actually they almost group up. That could have been his time. Yeah,
I was going to say, nothing is going right for him. There's 3 Molotovs in the same spot at the moment, so you don't want to mess with that, but he had the timing. Look how quick the rotation is, though. Glaive is here. That needs to be trade. You cannot have that initial contact be just one player going down. And this is going to be a bad time for Vega if they challenge it. Glaive rotating back, smokes in the face everywhere. Device at this B bomb site still has 1 more smoke to utilize. Can they break their way in? They're coming back into it. It's only 3 players.
Yeah, 4th one slowly reconnecting. We'll see. That smoke at Coffins isn't really going to do much of anything, and Device back here, they have 1 Molotov. It'd be unlikely if they put it right on him, so probably he's going to have a chance for 1 clean shot before all the chaos continues.
Triple kill for Device in this round.
Yeah? You ready for it?
I'm calling it.
Okay, 35 seconds. We'll see, Moses. We'll see. He's certainly lined up for a good one now. JR still hasn't put out that Molotov, and now it's Sip with the opening. Oh, and Device, there's the one. Sip might actually ruin your dreams a little bit. There's the follow-up. Now Tony Black, they steal it. I feel like he could have had it, Moses.
If they had ever been able to actually cross the line, he would have had it. 9-4. Vega not able to get anything going. The money is just way too sky high for Astralis. Now you kind of also see the reason why, if you go all the way back, that 1 round that Vega won, with that 1 entry kill on the B bomb site where Astralis chose to save with 4 weapons, this is the reason why. Preserve the economy and you allow this to happen.
Some very dominant rounds here. 6 of them in a row. If Vega hadn't won the pistol, I shudder to imagine what this would look like.
They didn't even have the advantage in the pistol. That very easily could have gone towards Astralis, so yeah. Gun rounds have been 9-1 in the favor of Astralis. Towards the A bomb site we go. If they can blow up fast enough out of Boiler and out of Halls, they can bypass Device altogether. Glaive rotating back. This is one of the very few rounds you see there's no pressure from Vega in Banana, and that's a huge tell.
Yeah, it is. More grenades landing on them. Magus going to fall back down. Does not want to get caught. Oh, Dupree showing himself a bit. Magus picking up a big double kill, and he's still got a couple more bullets left. Dupree will help him out, so it's a good idea, but it does not work out. And now they just read it coming as well. JR, a couple of grenades on him. 39 health for a 1-on-3. My God, this is the scary kind of Astralis that I think a lot of teams in this tournament were hoping had sort of gone away a little bit.
Yeah, this T side is just very, very predictable from Vega. Everything they're doing, Astralis is 1 step ahead of them. A lot of contact plays, a lot of executions, and a lot of just, trying to trade your way into a bomb site. And Astralis setups in the utility are just too good to allow those trades to be never-ending. Also, as we've mentioned a couple times, doesn't hurt that Chopper is having the worst game of his tournament. 0 kills on him still.
Yeah, that is absolutely gonna... I mean, especially when you're the guy supposed to get the entries, right?
Yeah. That
is such a pivotal role that T-side on Inferno, you need that. Hard to make your way through without it.
Also, I mean, think of it this way. The only 2 kills that Vega gets in this round are on Device and Glaive. Glaive had the read and the cheat rotation over to the A bomb site, and Device is on Rap side. They never actually took care of Magisk or Dupleix, who play lane, pit, and obviously Graveyard on the bomb site. They never even had access to it, even with the 2 kills.
Round number 15, and we are looking at an incredibly solid 7-round streak here. First task for the Vega team, avoid the grenades. You can fish with dynamite, can't you, Moses? I don't know if they fish shark with them, but I think that's what Astralis are up to here.
Yeah, maybe that's the thought process. Oh, God bless that jump. Lucky to get away from that one, and they see exactly, they hear the AWP, and they're just like, hell no. We will take our chances at A. Imagine spamming through the smoke. They need to get up quick, and he's going to find the lineup right through it. Even going to fall back. He's completely blind. They need to hunt this down. They need to chase it. He's back and clear, and that's beautiful. Sets up the clothesline, and there's an entry from JR.
Glaive in a very unlikely position. Might be hard to read. They're going to be rushing through the smoke. He's waiting on the other side very patiently. He's going to get rewarded as well. Gets the 1 kill. Can't follow up on JR. So big chance here. Maybe the best one Vega have had for 7 or 8 rounds. 2-on-2. Haji falling back into the bomb site. And JR in a good position here. They've got a nice little setup. Going to be an instant headshot, and now JR standing up. He gets the 1. Just needs the follow-up. Device is back there. This is their one big chance to finally come up with a round after losing so many in a row. Device pushing on through. Edge of the box, and he takes him down. Well played, and the defuse happening. 11-4 now. Astralis having such a good half.
Oh, I'm not sure why he played with the edge of that smoke. He could have used the bomb timer, and I think that's just a loss of focus.
Yeah.
Due to being battered for so many rounds in a row.
0 kills for Chopper at the end of 15 rounds.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously that's not ideal. But I think with 5 rounds, that could have been okay. If you have Chopper at 0 kills and you get 5, you're like, all right, we can. This isn't as big of a deal as it looks. We can make this work. We can work with it a little bit. Losing that last clutch, I think, is the real heartbreaking moment. Vega need a real hard reset. Sharks in space, not that good. Not making their way to the stars.
No, you'd put a lot of investment into that, Moses, and I think you could have done your research better. Like, generally speaking, they do need water to survive.
Need currents?
Yeah, there are some flaws in your plan, but I don't want to rule it out yet. We'll see if it maybe we could be surprised. They're going to do what Astralis did and push down the middle. Vega, just not afraid, are they? Just keep fighting. Astralis going to take up the challenge in Glaive, knocking out Crush and Haji instantly. This is a very different flavor. Oh, and long range, JR in trouble as well. He's going to go down. This is not what they needed at all.
Not even a little bit. No one able to get kills. Astralis just running him over. Yeah, they seem to have hit their stride, Astralis, and they're all really pressing the envelope a little bit here, aren't they? They know exactly where Chopper is now. He's got his first kill.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome to the game.
Dupree. Oh, gonna go down.
He's back.
He's back?
Yeah.
This way he drops 35 kills in 1 half and just brings them back in the game.
What if he got that headshot and then went for it and won?
Listen, I mean, it's absolutely possible if they keep challenging him, but finally they're going to get rid of him, and Sip was close by as well on the flank, so 12-4. And Vega, I guess they might as well go all in on this round.
Yeah, might as well. This is well handled from Glaive. 2 quick kills at the start, and all that early aggression just goes away. And Vega going to have to battle again from a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, this is a really big challenge that's being mounted here by Astralis.
I think the cool thing is a lot of people saw some weakness in Astralis.
Yeah.
In the Challenger stage. And obviously in that loss as well at Stockholm to North in the Grand Finals. This is the Astralis that really seems to have built their way into this event. Like they're not missing a beat.
They are some hard games to be playing early on these best of ones, so might be good news for the Danes after all if they can have sort of a slow increment into the tournament. So by the time we get a little bit deeper in, they're feeling all sort of fully warmed up and...
Yeah, when it gets to the best of threes, they just become a different beast.
That has been a conversation of, I remember Thorin was talking about it like quite a while ago, but this idea of like when you peak in the tournament, I think both him and Lurpus were actually having that conversation, right?
Yeah, and it's a cool conversation to have, and it'd be awesome to get you know, at some point maybe Duncan and I can grab some former major champions or just players who've played in the majors to talk about it, because this is a very unique tournament in that it's 3 weeks long.
Yeah.
You know, for most teams it's 3 weeks long. For it's at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we don't get events that last this long very frequently.
If you peak too early, right? If your best game is in the quarterfinals or something,
Or even in the challenger stage.
Or even the challenger stage, yeah. That could be a big problem. 25 seconds, leaving it a little bit low. I would say Astralis, this could be risky, but there are only a couple of people depending on this bomb site. Chopper, oh, that jump. The jumping Mac 10. It's returned up on the Moses. Get a little bit of their own poison.
You'd think they'd know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Since they were the original sinners, I guess we'll call them.
I think that's appropriate, Moses.
The original sin was that banana round against FaZe last in Boston.
Twisted the game of Counter-Strike into...
Perverted it into something evil.
Yeah.
Something so pure was brought so low. It's all right. Astralis is here. They're like the Knights Templar of the situation.
There they are, aren't they?
No emotions, they're just coming in.
Holding on to that...
Counter-Strike purists are here to cleanse this land.
Exactly. The fun thing is, I mean, as much as that style... I mean, we obviously all know by now how effective it is. When it runs into, say, the MIBR style, where you get like some of that really crazy Brazilian flavor, it can really fall apart. Like, how do you handle like people like Fallen and Cold Zero when they're playing their best game? I mean, that's, I think, something Astralis have always got to be worried about and a little bit scared of.
Well, I mean, that's just the benefit of having a player like Fallen. Just because that style is so unique, it's like it is kind of game breaking in a way, but it's game breaking in a really cool way. Obviously, super exciting. But I mean, you have that with a lot of different players. Nico for FaZe is like that.
Yeah.
Simple obviously is like that. I mean, some players just can do things that others can't. Nice pop flash, good idea. You're gonna love this one, Anders.
Yeah, just the one grenade, right? And they get 2 great kills for it. The bomb really far back, so. A bit of a giveaway here, still JR. I wish he had something other than a USP to hold this position with. If he could pick up 1 kill, that would truly be a miracle. They're checking all around. Oh, he does actually tag him mid-air, but again, very, very hard for him to solve that problem. The bomb is going to be down.
You have to go for this as well if you're Vega. Yeah. With that AK-47.
That's what I felt like too, but they're going to give it up. I mean...
Can't fault them too much.
No, but I kind of do agree. Like, the bomb was just planted. At least stick around, right? See if you can get the AK headshot in the first couple of seconds.
Yeah, and you're going to be buying next round no matter what happens. It's not going to be a great buy. Obviously, you want to keep that AK-47 so you can have a little bit more utility, but, you know, you need to kind of go for a miracle at some point in this half, and with 1 AK and a 3-on-3, a couple players debate. Might as well see if anything's going to be able to come from it. 14-4 in Vega. I felt so confident when I woke up this morning, Anders. I mean, I felt like hell.
Yeah?
Didn't get great sleep. But Vega was the one thing pulling me through it.
Yeah, you thought that was going to bring you back.
Yep.
How much is it going to hurt when my crazy prediction is going to be true later on? How do you feel about that?
Let's talk about that, because your crazy prediction, because we're not going to be here when it's required to come out.
But I've got NiP
you have
winning against
NIP
Liquid.
beating Team Liquid.
Yeah. Just wait, Moses.
You've lost
It's going to be beautiful.
You've lost your mind.
I
mean, I have too, obviously, but...
Yeah, a long time ago. It's in urgent need of medical assistance.
Yeah.
I can just feel
Medevac.
it. Forrest is going to be great today.
All right.
43 kills on him at the end of regulation. Just wait.
Twist is going to have 44.
Just one other thing. Glaive standing in the fire momentarily, and that's a grenade. No, that actually was the enemy grenade. Looked a little bit weird.
Glaive heard it coming, and it was almost like he tried to jump over the explosion a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Nice attempt, though.
So they trade some damage. Ultimately, Vega don't want to stick around, and that Molotov is going to force them back. So banana control in favor of Astralis. Oh, they're going to retake the flashbang. This is a cool idea. The firepower might not be there for it. If they had better weapons, that might have definitely worked out. I still definitely like the plan. They're going to lose the B bomb site, but honestly, like you said, you have to try something at one point. Sticking around in the B-bomb side with MAC-10s or UMPs or whatever it was is just not a viable plan. So really, really smart plan, I think. Didn't work out.
One of those that swung, the second player should have been the M4. We should have had maybe the MAC-10 or the UMP in the back, and that first SMG needed to swing much, much wider. Really wanted to get that kill on the blind player at car, but you need to take the attention away from the follow-up peak. going to be a 15th round for Astralis, and Vega need to go an 11-round run against the best team in the world. No big deal. Nip's going to get body bagged.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You see that 11-round run coming? Is that what you're saying?
No, I said Nip.
Nip? You don't believe that, Moses.
I do. And it
in your heart of hearts, you know.
It does pain me to say it because I do enjoy NIP.
Yeah? Well, we'll see. We'll find out a little bit later on. There are going to be some really great games coming up, so you guys don't want to go anywhere. Yeah, grab your friends, talk some smack. Kind of like what we're doing. Have a good time with the games today. It's crazy to think. I mean, this whole week is just going to be full of insane. I get the feeling that the playoff stage that we get to next week in the arena is going to be maybe not very different. I think we're starting to see some of these top teams. I guess we'll find out later on if they're going to start normalizing and kind of settle down and handle business. But there's going to be a couple teams in there that you don't normally see on big stages. Absolutely, and that could really spice things up. Last chance here for Vega, and pushing into the fire JR. Again, they just want to flex their muscles right now. They just want to see if they can somehow bully their way back into the game, but that is instantly denied. The grenades from Astralis are just good enough, and Device falling into the corner. A little bit of a peek there, but they might just be happy leaving a Device here. If nobody knows that he's pushed in here, that could be good information for him to just listen. JR dumps all of his utility and rotates away as Chopper comes in with a full kit. Tony Black boosts it up. Big kill from Device. Even Chopper's going to go down. He is not having a good day. And I think just in terms of mentality, that first half broke him. Oh. And look at Device. This is so aggressive, right? He didn't even need to challenge the second kill, but he's just feeling like, listen, I've got this. Running all the way into CT spawn and getting that kill on the third guy. Pretty much closing this one out. 2-on-4. And Astralis with an unbelievable run to close out this game. What did they win? 7 rounds in a row or something like that? Maybe 8 in a row at the end of the half? And then continuing on with another 4 on top. This is going to be the 5th. That is an incredible streak. 16-4 in favor of Astralis as they take down Vega on Inferno. 13 rounds in a row, Anders. That is crazy. And obviously 16 of 17 to shut this down. Yeah. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that. No. We are seeing a couple of cautious high fives. And like they made Vega look a little bit silly, but I think if you're another team watching this, you have to say, okay, that's an Astralis that's not making the same mistakes that we saw in the Challenger stage. This is a team that's looking much more focused and much better than what we expected to see. Everyone was kind of getting excited and a little bit giddy. Oh, Astralis is showing some weakness. I mean, they kind of slapped these guys aside, and I think that's deceptively a much stronger victory than you might think, because Vega has been playing very, very well. Yeah, they absolutely have. It's been a really exciting team. They didn't really seem to get their feet on the ground, right? No, I mean, the Dust painted the picture, right? If they had to have Chopper continuing to have a great event, which he's been phenomenal throughout the Challenger stage. I think he had 2 games below a rating, but everything else, he's been a god. Yeah. Every game they've played, they've never gotten blown out until now. They were playing really close games. I think at the Challenger it was all overtime or 30-round games that they were winning and losing. So all signs are pointing this to be reasonably competitive, but not the fact that the Astralis showed up the way they did today. Well, we'll see if they can continue on. Obviously, there's not out of the tournament yet. We do have Paula ready with the Astralis team. So, Paula, take it away for us.
An absolutely laser-focused performance there by potentially the best team in the world, definitely in Denmark, Astralis. Device, what can you tell me about how that game went?
I guess you could say that we played a lot of Inferno, also against them in practice, and I think it went our way a lot of the time, and we knew it was going to be that, so we prepared for it and we played really well.
And going up against Vega, did you have any particular reads on what they might do, which map it might end up on?
Yeah, I think that, like looking at the previous vetoes, we knew it was going to be Overpass or if they took a risk or Inferno. And it got to Inferno, and like as I said, we played them in practice, had some notes from that, and also we've seen them play because I think Inferno is the most played map in this tournament, so they played it a few times as well. So there was a lot of information about them.
Awesome, thank you. Zonik, can I have you for a second? Could you give me an explanation about how calls are currently working in-game and what influence you have on the team when they're making those decisions?
Yeah, well, we do the preparation pretty much together. When it comes to the veto, then we talk about our maps, our strengths, and then we look at their map pool, and then I pretty much set a couple of hours, 3 or 4 hours, and study them, and then I present whatever I find to the players the day after. So.
Okay, and something that a lot of people talk about, which is a strength that's grown for you guys over time, is your CT sides and playing solid Counter-Strike, just good metas, basically. How has that developed, and are there any special tricks you could give to everybody out there?
Definitely not, but yeah, we like to analyze our opponents and look where they mostly are on the map, and then we utilize that and use it to our advantage. So we spend a lot of hours in preparation, and I think that's one of the key elements to our success.
Would you agree then that you guys have a strong grasp of the fundamentals, and other than just having 5 fantastic aimers, you guys are playing Counter-Strike at its very basic but at an extremely high level?
Yeah, I think our team play is phenomenal right now, and we are playing really good together, helping each other, being there for each other. So I think I'm just happy and amazed to coach such great guys.
Exactly, and final question then leading on from that, are there still little patches that you're sewing together which you know or see yourselves as weaknesses?
Yeah, obviously we all have weaknesses, but I'm not going to tell them here, and we are working on them. So yeah, that's all I can say pretty much.
No, of course, definitely not trying to get you to air any of your weaknesses there. Thank you so much, Zonic, for your time, and I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Let's head back to the desk.
Parla and Zonic there, of course, hearing from Device as well. It started strong for Vega. Tony Black putting in a performance like no other, and indeed it wasn't enough, as we saw that initial 3 really only be, percentages are hard. 75%. There we go.
After that, it pretty much all fell apart though for these guys, right? You know, that was it. That was all it was. That was the pistol round. That was a gun round in there, and that was flat Counter-Strike from then on out. Just to elaborate on the questions Parla was asking, in terms of them being fundamental, they are fundamentally sound, and the reason that some people may say, oh, Astralis are boring to watch, is because they always make the percentage play. They will always go for the correct decision in a scenario. If they know that they have no chance or a very small likelihood of retaking a bomb site, they will go for the save. Here, they didn't have to do any of that. They just got to pop some heads and pad some stats.
And an interesting observation, actually, was in the Challenger stage while Astralis were playing. I was watching the game with Dabs. Of course, he joined us for the Challenger stage. And he was just watching Magisk, I think it was the scenario. He got 1 kill in Boiler, and he just said every other player pushes for the second. There was another he saw cross to quad, and all Magisk does, he backs up into WAPs, and it's just this decision, this thought process that everyone's on, that I've done my part.
Yeah, exactly. It's those differences that you don't see as a viewer at home, and it's actually those differences that makes Astralis better than the other teams right now. Because in this game, I don't think Vega Squadron did any obvious mistakes. They had some good mid-round calls. They made tried to do some executes, but Astralis fundamentals was just too strong. Too
strong. In fact, here's a stat that you don't have up on the screen. Astralis lost 1 opening duel in the 20 rounds they played.
Yeah.
1 opening duel. That's right. Every single first frag on their CT side and then eventually their T side was going their way.
And when you have a sporadic team who relies on, aggression and taking map control and being very assertive, and you're not getting anything, and one of your stars that we outlined of Chopper goes 0 kills in the first half, that's probably why you're not finding many opening duels, right? JR also had an average game, but we know it can be difficult for AWPers on a map like Inferno. So the 2 people we outlined who needed to step up if they wanted to take the victory were nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, Chopper and JR. JR was in our head-to-head as well, which is brought to you by The Predator, which is in cinemas September 14th. It didn't have the game that he's had so far. He really did feel the pressure.
But playing Astralis on Inferno as T is almost impossible with the off. So can't really blame JR. I would more look to Chopper in that position to go for the entry kills.
I feel like overall, though, if we want to look at what else he brings to the team as the in-game leader perspective, they were doing so many more defaults early than what you'd expect. I thought they may have opted to go for a 5-man early and kind of force Astralis to stay honest in how they were cheating bomb sites over, but they just kind of went the default style on their T side, and from that, you don't want to play into that. That's how Astralis loves it. They know the next step and 2 steps after that, so once you're doing that, they're already ahead of you, they already reckon you, and at that point, you're not winning many rounds.
Yeah, they should have gone full Vega, actually something we talked about earlier.
Go full Vega.
Yeah, go for the 5 Mac-10 B rush, just try to do some crazy plays, maybe go for a fast A palace push. It's just, they just went for the default play, and they did the fundamentals okay.
But it's Astralis CT side.
Exactly. That's just playing into the hands of Astralis.
If we can build from this point, Alex, the reason that you want to do that stuff early, especially after you win pistol round, is most teams are going to force buy on that CT side, and Astralis did that. Going into the first gun round, they were low on utility. Glaive had to buy a UMP to get all those grenades. As soon as you allow the CT side to establish an economy on a map like Inferno, the utility starts to wreak havoc, you're getting wrecked, and at that point, you can't take map control early. You can't go for the YOLO players.
Yeah, and indeed, speaking of utility and the absence of spice from none other than Vega, you've got a little clip for us called Getting Peppered.
Yeah, so in Australia, like when someone's like tagged, we say they're peppered. So in this scenario, this is Vega getting peppered at the start of every round once that economy was built for Astralis. The grenade use here just drops the players down to a mark where the M4s are going to do a lot of damage. Sure, they've got 3 AKs, but in this example here, okay, so down there's a Molotov down mid, you got to push that. This grenade here is crucial from device. If you want to set up for a set piece, you've already taken a huge chunk of damage. You now have multiple players who maybe before they could have taken a dink and still made that kill. Now, you know, you've got a lot of players. We've got 4 players on the server who are going to go down from 1 bullet of the M4 to the head. So in this scenario here, what I'm pointing out is if they want to do a late round execute, they're going to get wrecked. If they want to do something fast, they've got to run through all the fire, all the nades, and take all that damage to play the YOLO Vega style.
Oh my god, and look at the end of that round. You're tagged up through smoke as well. You've got 10 HP. They've still got their full HP, and they've...
You haven't even had a duel yet.
You haven't seen a single player yet.
That's crazy.
And being able to do a lot of damage with HEs on Inferno means that you can save a lot of Molotovs for the actual push of the T, so it makes it even harder for the terrorists.
Beautiful. That's a nice little summary. Of course, not too much to be said in terms of in-depth analysis. It was a case of Astralis playing another spectacular CT side on Inferno and Vega Squadron struggling to convert. That'll be a 16-4, the quickest game we've seen today, and indeed we'll be waiting to see what the rest have in store for us. We are going to be taking a break, though, because coming up after the break, we get to see Cloud9 take on Hellraisers. They had quite the wake-up call yesterday as Cloud9 now slip into that 0-1 category. Hellraisers was a nail-biter versus G2. Can't say the same, though, when you talk about Cloud9 as they fell in spectacular fashion to the aforementioned Vega Squadron. We just saw what happened to them versus Astralis. We're going to be taking a break, so we're going to go, when we come back, we'll be talking all about what Cloud9 can do versus the Razors of Hell. Do stay tuned as we'll be back right in a moment here from London.